And we're live! Hello and welcome, everyone, to Mondays in Exandria, Wanderlust in Wildemount, where I always unmute myself before everyone else because, you know, I like the people I play with. So we're gonna go around, we're gonna say who we are. I totally forgot to put people in the right boxes. I knew I was missing a step, so we're gonna play musical chairs and start with Harlan Flipcloak, who is about to be in the right spot. There we go. Yep. How are you, Harlan?
Hello! Yes, I'm doing quite well tonight. Let's see, I'll be playing, I'm D20 Coup de Grace. I'll be playing Harlan Flipcloak tonight. He's a hobgoblin divination wizard. And I did not foresee last episode. I hope that turns out all right.
Oh, I hope so as well. And now everyone's in their proper spots. So, yay. Musical chairs. It's always fun. And we did have a shiny pilot. Hopefully we will have a shiny pilot once again, but you know, sometimes duty calls, and you just have to do your job and stuff, whatever. I will be playing Wendell Eustace Abernathy, Lucius Throckmorton Hossenpfeffer IV of the Havisham Hossenpfeffers, who, is ready to write his acceptance letter to be the new coin master on the Council of Tal'Dorei, open up another orphanage. You know, there's just so many orphans that need help, and he can help them. He can help them all. So, that's Wendell. Just an all-around nobleman, nice guy, with no ulterior motives whatsoever for anything. Someone who also rarely has ulterior motives. Nugatosaurus, how are you?
You're correct. I don't normally have ulterior motives. I'm very straightforward in everything.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah. Hi, I'm Nugatosaurus. I'll be playing Hal, the shifter fighter / paladin. Last week she kind of dropped a bomb on the group and told them that she is very close to leaving the group. She might not be with them for much longer. So, I guess we'll see what happens with that.
I guess we shall see what happens with that indeed. Someone who was, late today, Producer Trav. How are you?
Just today, though, right?
Well,
hey, how's it
I should
going?
start a tally board
everybody?
right here. I can just look over at it.
How dare you? Punctuality, it's overrated. Hey, how's it going? Producer Trav here, playing Lamont Quinlan, who is a Kalishtar former artificer, now rogue / grimdark antihero. And his ongoing crisis of self continues. He's freaked out everybody again, and we're having quite a meeting. It's a powder keg. It could go at any time. Time to get it on.
Powder kegs are what GMs love to play with, so I will hand it over to our dungeon master. Deception check. How are you this evening?
Oh, I'm doing grand. I can't wait to see what other surprises my players throw at me kind of off the cuff during the session. I wasn't completely thrown off guard by the conversations that we had at the end there as we ran long. I'm Deception Check. I'm here on Mondays, running Mondays in Exandria, an adventure in... we're not an adventure, Mom. We're Wanderlust in Wildemount. That was last year, and obviously I'm in a time loop right now and a little unstuck in which reality I'm in. But this reality, we had our characters get back together finally at the end of last episode. Harlan and Igor and Wendell were all in Iman, trying to finalize a couple investigations into a book that Harlan needed to give to a little old lady who asked him to do a favor, but he failed to save and forgot about it completely. And I guess we just won't find out what happened if he had given it to her. On the other side of the world, we had Lamont Quinlan trying to figure out a few things about his life and having a conversation with Hal, and Hal dropping a few bombs on people when they all arrived back at the Wasserin Manor. So as we ran along a little last week and kind of had to cut things off, let's pick back up with the members of group as they sit around the table in the parlor of Wasser Manor, chatting with Hal and Lamont as they have both mentioned, not at the same time, about the possibility of them leaving group for greener pastures or better stalking. I don't know. It depends on the person. So we'll pick up there. Lamont has just finished telling everybody that he's thinking about moving back to Vermont to hunt down strange orphanage issues.
Orphanage? What must be different orphanage.
We gotta set it. We gotta set it back up though, really quickly because Hal was already there.
Yes.
I came in. Now
they specifically misled you of where the meeting was going to be so that they could have a conversation without you there.
Well, we didn't mislead you. We were going to meet at the end, and then Hal didn't want to. And we said, well, do you want to talk to us first? And she said, yeah. So we just rode the carpet there and said, meet you at...
So they flew over
Right.
you with the carpet instead of
know where
picking
you
you
were.
up.
I remember seeing them.
I
Right.
didn't know where
Yeah.
he was, except in town,
Mm-hmm.
No.
And you had no way to communicate freely through your book with them to reassociate.
We just
and
said we'd meet
adjust
him there.
plans.
All right.
It all worked out.
Yes, it all worked out.
Well, like I said, I admire all of you. Aspire to be as comfortable in my own skin as all of you seem to be. And as clear-headed. But, it's not quitting, it's leave of absence. And it's just something I feel like I need to do. Something's going on out there. Something's wrong.
There's always things going on out there that are wrong, too.
Yeah, I mean,
Some
like, the
degree.
evil orb of evil is,
Yes.
like, out there, so that's definitely going on.
Wrong, yes.
And the Clockwork Council and all their bullshit.
Right. I had an idea about them. We've seen all their faces.
Well, some of their faces. I'm fairly certain they didn't have every single member there at the time. That would just be foolish as a super secretive organization. Not that Wendell would know anything about that.
I think we invite them all to a party and poison the punch. And we all take the poison in tiny increments and build up a tolerance to it ourselves, each one of us, and microdose this poison over the period of a year. We string them along. We help them here and there, but never enough to actually solidly do anything concrete. Meanwhile, we feel them out. We get information. Meanwhile, we're taking the poison. We probably feel like hell, but after about a year, we'll be completely resistant to it. Then somebody has a
Hold on,
birthday.
Lamont.
I don't
Hold
know.
on. Pause,
Igor has a
pause,
birthday, and then
stop.
we poison the punch.
Anahita just ripped off your fucking arm. Do you think she's gonna wait a year?
Is she coming back for the other one? Or is she content with just the one?
We don't have that kind of time, Lamont.
I'm ready to build up a tolerance to deadly poisons on a more aggressive scale. I'm ready to
I mean,
entertain
you
that.
can absolutely do that in your free time, but
Well, technically, we could make the time. Look at Harlan.
There you go. Now you're
No.
thinking.
no, we're not fucking with unnatural shit.
Time's a natural
I'm hearing
thing.
a lot of no's, and this is kind of part of the
Yeah.
problem. Is I'm
And,
hearing a
and
lot
messing
of
with
no's.
time is not natural.
Yes, but sometimes things are wrong.
When you mess with time, you punch holes in the fabric of the universe.
Says
That
who?
fucks shit up.
Where is... Which scientist said this? Which man of magic was... Did Bahamut tell you this?
I think Hal looks a little stumped because, like, she knows this as fact, but I don't think she realizes where she knows it from. Because this is kind of like her past, like, the life she can't remember peeking through. So she just kind of like, I don't know who the fuck said it, but I know it's like, I know, okay?
It could have been Lamont who said it, like a year ago. Well,
No,
18
I
months
would
ago.
remember if Lamont said some random shit like that.
You remember all of the random shit Lamont says.
I remember a lot of the random shit Lamont says because it's fucking wild.
It is that. Give you that. Right.
I admit moving through time can have serious implications, but I am able to calculate most variables.
No. I'm not fucking with time travel and time. I won't be a part of that.
It's worse than that, though.
I'm just trying to provide options.
I
This
think
thing
that's a
showed us-
non-option.
This thing froze us in the middle of our trip. Harlan doesn't seem to want to talk
So
about
you're
it as
saying
much as I do.
Anahita messed with time too. That's a very fair point.
As far as I could tell, she stopped it, or she held us, or whatever. That's the way I remember it. Either way, she dropped in on us in the moment it apparently took us to catch up with all of you. And she wanted to free this thing. And then, when she nearly tore me in half, she wanted to keep it locked up and was ready to do anything it took to keep this thing locked up. And the notion of me even entertaining an alliance or a relationship with the Clockwork Council made her tear my fucking arm off, man. I'm not fucking with this thing. You guys don't have a plan for this thing. I'm not hearing a great crack solution for the whole Anahita thing. You want to travel through time, you want orphans, you want dinner, and you want to leave and get married and love your wife and love your family. And I don't fucking blame you.
I wish to correct you. I
Same.
don't want to travel through time. It's necessary to travel through time.
And I don't want
It's
orphans.
really not.
They're in an orphanage. I want to make orphanages for the orphans. I already have enough wards in my life. The next, and if I have any children, they're going to be because I've gotten married and had heirs, which that does need to happen at some point. I'd like to speak with Nezra to know if she has any single friends. At some point. I think that would be a good one.
I think you guys are proving my point here. I mean,
Okay, so what's your master plan? What the fuck are you gonna do when you go back to Amon or whatever you're doing here? You got a plan? You know every step that you're gonna take?
absolutely.
Because we literally never have a plan for anything, and look at where the fuck we are.
Very rarely. Very short-term planners.
Yeah, it's like literally the day before or like the hour before we do something, we make a plan.
Granted, we didn't really have the luxury of long-term planning during our last ordeal.
That's true.
We go back to Amon. We leverage the inn. We leverage it as a resource. We crew up. We hire low-level mercenaries who are just good enough to get the job done, but just experienced enough to not cost a fortune. We make sure they're legit. We make sure they're loyal. We use the basement as a headquarters, and we take back the streets block by block.
Okay, do you remember what happened the last time you fucked with the class? Like you
Which
nearly
one's the
died
clasp?
multiple times. The class was
Just-
who runs in Amon.
It's just what all the assholes call each other. I am not intimidated by them. I have much less to lose in all of this. I'm half the man I used to be.
Well, your arm
And
isn't
I've
quite half
stopped-
of you, but
5/6.
Figuratively speaking. And I'm done pussyfooting around. I want to stay together. I want us all to hold hands and sing a song. But I also want us to kick some ass and gain some ground. And this whole Port Damali thing, this ain't working out. But we come back. We regroup.
Why? Because you fucked up and it didn't go the way you wanted? So all of a sudden we're just abandoning the whole city? Because you got a bunch of kids killed?
There it is.
I have to use the restroom.
Me too. And I follow Harlan to the restroom. I'll be right back.
This is like the third time now.
Fourth, maybe.
And as you walk out, Igor walks in with like 2 armfuls of food. Just one is for him and Wendell, and the other is for everyone else.
Yes.
I'll be taking a break.
No, some people are just going to the bathrooms, Igor.
Nope,
It's fine.
Lamont's running away.
Oh.
Fucking again.
I do think you have a point there, Howl. Harlan and I spoke with Sikrasum. Harlan's walked away. Scoots, like, I think he does, like, the slight chair scoot over in the lean, because, I don't know, they talk, they gossip, but it always sounds like they're arguing. People think they hate each other. But, they converse quite well most of the time. But he'll scoot the chair over, but Sikrasum, aside from bringing up the things about Lamont, he did mention that the crime rate in the city had gone down significantly, due to that title that he likes to throw around.
Yeah.
That I can never fully recall because it's got so many synonymous alternative possibilities. Should get an acronym or something. Anyways.
The clasp is not the myriad.
The clasp is not the myriad.
The myriad is 10 times worse than the clasp.
Yes, you'd think he'd want to do something about it, but I think his conscience is weighing on him a bit, and he doesn't like how that feels. Needs to confront some of those feelings, perhaps. But also, Sikrasum brought up some things about the Iron Authority. Had a lot of questions for Harlan about it. Just thought you might want to know.
Why? Because he's a hobgoblin? Isn't that, like, profiling?
I think the Iron Authority, they're looking for Harlan, specifically. And there was something mentioned about... let's see, let me scroll back one page in my notes. They've been very active since Harlan left. Apparently the heir apparent was assassinated, possibly by a family member, and Harlan really didn't want to talk about any of it.
So what, you think Harlan's the family member and he murdered his sibling?
It's a possibility. Why else would the entire Iron Authority be looking for Harlan?
I don't know. I don't know anything about hobgoblin culture. Maybe people just don't leave, you know?
I read some Spark notes on Harlan wrote up a little hierarchy thing to give to Sikrasum on things about hobgoblin culture, and that didn't seem to being quite be the case. Just thought you might want to know. It might be an interesting fact to, in case something else pops up about it later. Harlan doesn't wish to speak on the matter, but I do agree with you about Lamont, though. I think that he's feeling his conscience is hurting and he wants to run away instead of dealing with it.
So as that conversation floats on and Igor is chowing down on all the wonderful food he brought, pretty much half the kitchen he brought in, and
well, I mean, it's to share with everybody.
It's a snack. I mean, why? How else do people snack? I don't know. I don't understand. But let's catch up with Harlan and Lamont as they reach the water closet, both needing to go.
I turn back towards Lamont and say, I really don't have to use the restroom. I was trying to keep myself from an awkward situation, but you're part of that.
I know, right? Awkward.
Yes.
Yeah, she really called me out back there. Yeah, I don't have to pee either. I just wanted to sidebar with you if you've got a second. I'm not kidding about this whole using the inn as a headquarters and crewing up and taking back the city block by block and striking a dagger of fear into the hearts of anyone who would dare prey on the innocent. So I was just wondering, this is not one of those like in or you out kind of a things, but it's more of like, could I count on you as sort of a vendor contractor type relationship, sort of an ongoing type situation where you occasionally use your awesome time ship to commit coordinated attacks on leadership of organized crime in Amman? How does that strike you?
Well, Lamont, I'll be happy to help you with anything you need, but the way you seem to want to go about this, it seems doomed to ruin.
How so? Have you seen the future?
Well,
What?
I've seen
What do you-
many.
What do you know that I don't, Harlan? What are you keeping from us?
Well, okay. He'll he'll draw a picture. Well, picture this as your knowledge, right? And he draws like a little dot, and then he draws like a giant circle. Now picture this as my knowledge. That's what I know.
And I imagine he's doing this with like prestidigitation. It's literally like he's drawing light-colored lights in the air.
And to explain it all to you would probably take a lifetime or more. Not saying that you're incapable of understanding it. It's just I would have trouble relaying that much knowledge to you in an orderly fashion.
Why would the demigod who stopped our trip and then ripped off my arm want things one way and then show up again and want things another? How come she did that?
There could be minor aspects to this plane that has changed since we had last spoken to her. Through means of my own or perhaps others' interventions.
That was the most spectacular non-answer to a straight question I received in a while.
It is the complete truth that I know it.
I imagine it is, and this is really, Harlan, if I may, I've been calling you the Big Red One. If I may call you Harlan, this is really where I become disconnected with the whole thing, because on the one hand, you've got a demigod who wants another demigod or whatever chained up and held there, kept that way. You got a blah blah blah. You got all this intrigue over here. On the other hand, people are suffering every day. So who is suffering in scenario A? The god chained up in some plane somewhere? Or do I help the other? Do I hit the streets and actually accomplish something? I can't take back my arm. I can't get it back. And I don't know what's happening with this whole smoke thing. This whole phantom limb thing. I don't know. But I'm not dead. I've got to do something with it. Do you understand? I have an obligation.
Well,
some people don't see it that way.
Your path is already chosen for you. And there's really nothing I can do. Actually, there's plenty I can do to change it. But I won't change it for your sake.
How much would it cost to change it? Did you never think someone would ask you that question as soon as they found out what you're capable of, as soon as they found out what you're up to? Did you not think the first person who found out about it would not try to find a way to commoditize it and use it? You're lucky it's me. We're gonna stop it, Harlan. Me and you. Howl can go. She's gone soft. We don't need her. Igor,
I think that your fight with Hal should be put aside from this.
Good idea. Appreciate you. I'm losing my temper. I'm gonna do my breathing exercises. So this is it's just something for you to think about, you know. Food for thought.
Lamont, I will offer you any help on whatever project you wish that I can provide.
Nope. I'm waiting. I'm waiting to hear it, but that's just a statement. Harlan Flipcoat, let me shake your hand.
He'll take his time.
Pleasure.
Which hand did you shake with?
My right hand.
The ghost hand?
Yeah, ghost hand. It was just instant.
When he actively uses that and shakes your hand, like you guys can touch it and it's just a thing, but when he uses it and grab it, you feel cold. You feel like an empathetic connection to a certain, like there is a void that's being filled by just seething anger. And then when he lets go with his hand, it's gone.
I feel that, or he feels that?
You feel that, Harlan.
Oh, okay. Oh. I'll pull away with no.
It's just a flash.
Yeah, no reaction, or as little reaction as I can portray, anyways. Which is.
Well, this has been a good conversation. I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. I haven't had to urinate in weeks, so.
Pull out my paper. And how many weeks was that?
Months, actually. Frank, how long has it been? I try to refresh my memory. How long has it been?
Since you came out of the dirt.
Yeah, since I came out of the dirt. It's got it written down here somewhere. Because he gives a realistic. It's like a year, right?
Yeah, nearly a year.
Nearly. That's what he said. Nearly a year, I think. Yeah, longer than a few weeks.
Ramon has a tenuous attachment to time, so it's difficult to tell, really.
You appear to be in great health for someone with a missing arm and hasn't had any waste for the last year, but I think you should continue on your way then.
Hey, numb to the pain. Always a pleasure. And I skip down the stairs, and I want to sneak back, and I'm not talking like creep, like I'm sneaking. I just want to like keep a very low profile, and before I enter the room that everyone is still in, I'm assuming I'm going to eavesdrop for just a second and pick up.
I'll need you to log into Roll20 and roll a stealth check.
Roll what?
Or dice, if you have dice. But you need to know what you're doing.
I need some dice. I should be keeping dice up here. Frank is furious with me, and I don't blame him.
No, it's look, if you bring your dice, I don't need you to log into Roll20.
That would wait. Here we go.
I'm only in Roll20 just to give you guys grief for not being in Roll20. That's really
right.
Mm-hmm. Hey, for the music,
Yeah.
It's thinking. There we go. Give it to me. Give it to me. I'm rolling stealth.
Stealth? Yes. Okay.
Oh my god! Wait. Oh, I
you
got
rolled
8.
poorly. Yes.
Oh, boo.
So you're trying to hide outside of the doorway to listen into the conversation of Wendell, Hal, and Igor. And you just, sometimes you don't have complete control of your ghost arm. And while you're sitting there, it's like just board tapping on the wall and you don't even notice it. And so, you guys know that someone is standing outside the door listening poorly.
Poorly.
Yes.
Wonderful.
They're dropping eaves outside the door.
I just raised an eyebrow at Hal, like, did you notice that too?
She just kind of nods.
Even
And,
Igor notices it over the smacking of the eating of food.
Oh, Igor knows as well.
Yes, it was an 8. Everyone has passive perceptions higher than that.
Yeah.
Igor would probably get up then as a butler, and he'd start walking towards the door, just straight for it.
Okay.
And he'll walk right over to it and hello, and open it up.
And you see Lamont kind of hanging onto the side, looking like he's trying to be quiet and listening in.
Oh, hey Lamont.
Hey, bud.
Did you finish your trip to the room?
I did. I feel much better.
Oh,
Excuse
good.
me. I'm gonna just come in and wrap up our. Thanks so much.
Did you leave Harlan in there?
Yeah, Harlan had a big old pee. Man, he must have been in there sounded like 5 guys peeing. It was hilarious. I'm gonna sit back down right over here.
Igor looks behind him. Does he see Harlan anywhere?
I believe Harlan is still upstairs.
Oh, hey, should I go check on him then, Lamont, or is he still out there?
No, he's fine. He's fine. I'm sure he'll be back anytime. You know, Hal, you and I had a really nice conversation out there on the veranda, and you know, you demonstrated some compassion towards me, and I'm gonna hold on to that because I value you and I respect you and what you've turned yourself into and what you've made of yourself and your family. You're very lucky. And I can't have that. And I'm not stupid, right? I may be crazy, but I'm not stupid. I can read the looks on all your faces. I see the way everyone reacts to pretty much everything I say. It's not lost on me that I'm not exactly gelling with all of this. And I think the problem I'm going to have is I may just keep burning up these relationships. You know what I mean? And I don't want to burn anybody. I don't want to hurt anybody. Not anybody who doesn't deserve it. So, appreciate you.
Lamont, you say some crazy stuff sometimes. Like, genuinely, people question your sanity on a regular basis. We want to help you. Because despite everything that you've said, we've all been through some, pardon my language, we've all been through some shit together.
That's true.
So, we try to see past the questionable things you sometimes say and see what it is that you need. Because sometimes the things we want and the things that we need are different things.
I need to go back to Amon. I need a shower. I'm going to try to sleep one last time. It's probably not going to happen. I want to talk to Roger. I want to try to drink a glass of milk. I left some clothes back there that I'd like to put back on.
Hey.
And then I want to get to work.
Get to work doing... what?
That's the thing of it, isn't it? I'm thinking of crewing up. Got a little bit of money. Seems to me that if you put together some sort of watch, some sort of street level organization. Something that the terror isn't at the front of. Something that has a different face. Something that people respect,
For
but are
here,
still
for
afraid
Port
of.
Damali.
For Iman. We put it back together and then we come back to Port Damali and we crack this thing wide open.
Who says Iman's not put back together? I just spoke with Speaker Assume. He said the crime rate has gone down drastically. You mean to take off the clasp? I fear that the myriad would only take its place. The clasp actually has helped the people of Amon from time to time. If that was to be that void, the myriad has tried to move in previously, but have been unable to. I feel like they would be the ones to take advantage of that.
We literally stopped them from taking over last year.
Yes, we did. And that was when the class was at full health and crime rate wasn't very down. With the crime rate being as down as it is, the actual patrols of City of Amon are able to do their work more efficiently. Amon is doing shockingly well. Port Damali, however, is a different story. If you wanted to fight crime, I would say fight it here. Yes, I know the myriad wants you dead, but they are definitely people looking to expand. You're
That's
not
how we
looking
do
to
it.
take down the grand villains. They're here.
That's how we do it. The portal to the inn. We stay there. The HQ is there. We go
You
through
see,
the door.
the problem
we come
with
to Port
that-
Damali.
You're
I'm
only a-
talking.
I don't give a fuck. You're only a part owner of that inn, and I'm not okay with my portion of that inn being used for your fucking bullshit.
My fucking bullshit.
Your fucking bullshit.
My war on crime.
You-
That's what it
you
is.
Play
What do you want to go
victim.
pick flowers with your wife?
You
Then
play
go do it.
victim to
Some of us.
circumstances you create every fucking time.
Who is
You
playing a
did this.
victim? I have accepted
did this.
every bit of responsibility I have
Really?
to
Then do
take
something
and
about those
more.
fucking kids. Do it here in this
That's
city.
what I'm trying to do. It. I can't do it
Don't
alone. We're
hide
in
in
a
Amon.
fucking
Don't
standing
hide
like an
in Amon
asshole
like a
in the
bitch.
middle of the party alone with no backup while you're flirting when we should be kicking some ass.
What the fuck do you think we've been doing with the fucking Clockwork Council? If Avum gets out, if that
We
shit
had
happens,
lunch.
none of this shit matters. If any of that gets out, all of your justice and it'll be gone. Gone. It won't matter what the fuck you do here now.
Wait,
Look
any
at
of
the
what gets
big
out?
picture. Avum.
That's why I'm not taking on Avum. That's why.
Right,
why
so you're
we're
gonna
leaving
sit
that
back
one alone.
and do nothing to help stop the end of the fucking world.
Wendell, end of the world. Thoughts?
She's not wrong. Why do you think I'm involved? I could be sitting in Amon being the next coin master, just
He could
making
be
more
in his
orphanages.
fucking vineyard, wooing
that-
women, getting married, making heirs, but instead he's fucking here, doing shit,
Because if the evil orb of
Having
evil
lunch.
gets out, you know.
having lunch with the Clockwork Council, playing the political shit. Not everything is terror in the night.
Not yet. But we'll get there. This is good. See, some people can't have conversations like this. Some people don't find this healthy. Sometimes this ends relationships. I find it exciting and productive. This is how we do it. Wendell's right. But I don't know how to fight the big guys. I don't know. I'm admitting I don't know how to fight. I don't know how to deal with the Avum situation. I don't know what to do on that one. I'm a hammer, Howl, and I'm here to tell you that everything looks like a nail right now.
The first step is admitting it. You know, you're making progress.
So you point me in the right direction. I trust you. I trust you with my life. Again and again and again, and I'll go on doing it. You point me at them, and I'll rip their guts out. But I don't know where to start.
That is the
You hear
question.
a knock. You hear a knock on the parlor door.
I spin and draw.
Whoa.
Door opens, and you see a wide-eyed servant standing there. Excuse me,
Put that fucking shit away, Lamont. Don't do that in my house.
Mistress Howell. I'm sorry. Am I there is a
You're-
guest here
You're fine.
I sit down.
looking to speak with your group.
Who is it?
I think I know.
Mrs. Caliana.
The timing. I figured it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, send her in. Why the fuck not? Let's do this.
Maybe if that, you know what, Harlan's in the bathroom, let's not bother him.
Igor stepped out to go get some milk because Lamont mentioned milk and they were arguing, and he's like, I'll get milk. It'll make it better.
Yeah.
The servant steps away and closes the door. In a few moments, comes back, opens it, and says, "Mrs. Caliana," and you see the exotic, very old, gray-haired woman with the beautiful voice, who you met as one of the Clockwork Council, possibly even one of the leaders, as far as you know.
Mm-hmm.
She smiles at all of you. "Oh, I'm sorry. Did I come at a bad time?"
No, not at all. We were just having a bit of lunch. Wrapping up
and
now.
you see her look over at Lamont and his spooky arms. She's like, "Where's the rest of your number?"
This is it for now. Take a seat.
"But I prefer to stand. I probably won't be here very long. I just wanted to see how things went with the journal."
Oh, yes, Sarah. She, her journal. We discovered that the killer behind all these murders that were committed 5 years ago was performed by the Lord of the House.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Lord Vialis?
Lord Vialis. Indeed.
Oh my.
Murdered his entire family, put the ashes in some creepy urn, wasn't letting anyone pass on, just serial
You see,
killing.
she looks visibly shaken a bit
Mm-hmm,
by that news.
mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
But,
that's
they've all been put to
horrible.
rest properly now. They are all... The spirits have been pacified by, proper burial rites and all that
Oh.
service.
Excellent. Why would he do that to his family, to his servants?
Oh, he joined a cult.
Oh, that happens.
Yes. I've heard stories.
Not that he would know anything
Not
about
that they would know anything about it.
Why
Yes.
why his family? Why so gruesomely destroy them like that?
Oh, there was some bits in
Crazy
there.
people do crazy shit.
Yes. Something about his... have you ever heard of the tortured writer or the tortured artist? That the more pain they endure, the better their art gets. I think it was something like that.
Wasn't blood rituals or anything like that? Summoning things from beyond?
Well, cults like to summon things all the time.
Oh, okay. Well,
Probably demons or something.
have you told the authorities? Is Lord Vialis still alive?
Nope.
He is not still alive. He did not like us
Oh.
finding out about it exactly and attacked us quite
Well,
violently.
that's good.
So we
That's
may-
good.
yes.
That sort of thing should not be allowed to
No.
desecrate one's own family like that. Is
Yes, it's quite tragic.
so base and immoral. Well, I knew that you all would be the right ones for the job, and I do appreciate you taking care of it. I hope that working with us wasn't so odious.
I don't... I just side glance at peripheral look at my two compatriots who were just yelling at each other 2 minutes ago. No, I don't think odious is quite the right word.
Oh, well,
Are we done being awkward?
Oh.
Mariana!
Oh,
Hi!
Mr.
When did you
Flipcloak.
arrive?
It is. I just stepped in. I seem to have interrupted a conversation, and I don't mean to take any of your time, but I did want to speak with you if I could. But no, right here is fine. Would you be interested in joining me for a lunch date? I'd like to. I had such a nice time talking with you at the ball. I'd really like to continue our conversations.
I would be honored.
Oh, that would be wonderful. I'll send a note. You're staying here still?
Yes, I believe I have a room here.
I'll send a note by if that's all right with you, Mr. Sowell.
Sure, if he's staying here. I don't see why not.
Wonderful.
Quite a gracious host, she is.
Well, if we come across something like this, the Yellow Crest Journal again, would you be willing to look into it for us? All of you?
Might consider the case depending on our current schedules. We've been discussing some things for group.
Wonderful.
Our schedule's wide open. We can do anything. Yes.
He doesn't speak for us.
I understand that, and as a
I don't know
group,
who that
I would expect you all to make the decision as a group. It's kind of in your name, so. Now, did we ever agree on a reward for your services? I mean, you've done a great deed in saving these people.
We did not. No. That was me going, did we? I don't think we did.
I don't think we did.
No, we hadn't discussed that.
No. Well, if you'd like, consider what you think would be an adequate reward for your services, and Harlan can inform me tomorrow at lunch. If that's okay.
Sounds wonderful. We'll send the news with Harlan.
Wonderful. Oh, well, I'm sorry to have interrupted.
You're fine.
Your meeting. Oh, I'll see myself out. Thank you. It was a pleasure seeing you all again. And thank you again for solving that case. I could not make heads or tails of it. And you're the third organization we sent after that to try and understand why that poor soul was trapped in the book.
Probably got to Lord Vialis and he, disposed of them every time. Him and his cult.
Have a better rest of your day.
Thank you. Have a lovely day.
As she's stepping out, she's gonna pass Igor coming in with
Like
a
a
platter
big
platter full of milk, like milk glasses and a milk pitcher. But we're one for the road.
Oh,
Hands her milk.
Thank you. I'll leave the glass with the doorman.
Oh, okay.
and she walks out with her glass of milk.
Okay.
Igor goes, and Wendell overhears this and thinks to himself, so that's why we're missing so many glasses from the estate.
Yep. Igor comes in and sits down the platter. Oh, hello, Harlan. You're back from your trip.
Thank you. Harlan has a seat and just takes a deep breath. Whew.
Well, good. What did I miss?
And I'll telepathically tell Harlan, like, the awkward isn't done. It just got interrupted and paused. Brace yourself.
Wait, and he's not going to warn Igor? Oh, okay, fine.
I found out
Igor
what
was here the whole time, except to get milk and...
Well, that's true. Igor's ready for it.
So an uncomfortable silence falls across the room.
Well, yes, and I hope it to stay that way because I'm going to try to subtly cast silence so me and Wendell are in the dome while they're talking.
You see a shimmer
That's
as
great.
Harlan casts silence.
Oh,
And you don't.
anybody else see that?
And you don't hear any sound of glasses clinking. Like you see Wendell drinking his milk and then placing it down the table. No sound at all.
Nod over at Wendell and try to nod with them whenever they're discussing us.
You notice that, if you do start talking, Harlan's nodding at all the wrong pause breaks.
Well, this is a solution. Telepathically.
So, the quiet falls over. The unnatural quiet in some aspects of the room. Quiet falls over the room as you all sit there.
Well, if it's awkward for too long, Igor would start grabbing more food again and drinks. And if he notices that things are not making sounds, he's going to start experimenting. So you guys may want to start talking.
It'd be funny if he did. It'd be funny if it was,
Well, he will.
because this woman, it really is funny because this woman, this clockwork council member who Lamont didn't speak to the whole time that I remember, leaves. And then there's this long silence. And I'm just like looking at Hal.
She will glare back.
What's your big idea then? How would you handle it? You got 500 of your best men, right? Whatever. Okay, not 500. I'll give you 25. You got 25 of your best guys. You got a good amount of money. You got a place to rest up where they'd have a hard time finding you, getting to you, as long as you didn't lead them back there. I don't have a taste for white collar crime. These people come in. I can stay up all night, hide outside their window, go through their closet, look for the skeletons. But it's a lot easier to go break somebody's jaw, put their hands on somebody he shouldn't have, and work the street and go case by case and build it up. So how would you do it?
Lamont, you do realize that, before group, was just a thug, right?
Oh, come on. You were the best thug. Give yourself some credit.
All I know how to do is hit shit really hard. Okay. I don't get all of this city political, let's work with them, but do some subterfuge at the same time. I don't fucking understand that. If it were up to me, I would have killed her right here in this fucking parlor.
That would have gone well. But Wendell can't hear any of this.
Yeah.
And here you are second guessing the master plan.
I'm not second guessing anything. I'm trusting Wendell and Harlan that they know what they're doing because this is what they're good at. They're good at talking. They're good at making plans. They're good at people. Well, maybe not people for Harlan, but Wendell's good with people. That's what he does. I don't do this. I hit shit.
If I might, you do hit shit really, really good.
Thank you, Igor. You hit shit really good too.
But
we both hit shit really good.
Yeah.
I don't.
I stand up and begin to pace the room.
You think the conversation's over?
No. Harlan Flipcloak, the conversation is not over. All right.
They're silent.
Geniuses.
They're in silence.
They're
We
in a
don't
ball
hear
of
him.
silence.
Yeah.
We don't
They're
hear
talking
that.
telepathically.
Well,
They're what are they staring at each other? I can still address them.
Harlan's staring at you guys, and he's nodding along like he's agreeing and
Oh,
disagreeing.
but I didn't
with
hear that. Okay,
but it's
all right.
completely off pace. It's wrong.
Right.
Yeah, Wendell will be like, well, I don't know if they're done arguing, but they're not yelling anymore. So they seem to have at least calmed down. Maybe they're rationalizing. Maybe they're in the rational stage now. There's the 5 stages of grief. There's the 4 stages of arguing. It starts off, confused, speculations, then there's irrational arguing and yelling, then they, calm down and get to rationalizing it out, and then for as a conclusion.
All right, well, I think we can be done with this then.
Right.
And if I may, Lamont and Hal, taking from my experiences at butlery school, the headmaster, he said that one butler's good for a small house, but you need 2 or 3 butlers for a medium house, or 4 or 5 for a large house. And he did larger houses, larger butler pools. So if we were all butlers in a house, we need to be together to serve the house. So
Okay,
be butlers.
you're right. That is, I get what you're saying. We need to be in unison on this, but we're not trying to serve the Clockwork Council. We're trying to take them down.
Yeah, what is the house in that scenario? Is the house a war on crime?
Is the house
if
us?
that's the answer,
I think us being together is like a house. We're like butler family.
Okay.
this is a sticky metaphor, but I'm glad you're sticking with it, and I think I understand what you're saying. You
Well,
know,
if we-
one thing about
We should-
butlers is that some butlers, you know, share the same role, and one may be good at other things, but we're all on the same level, right? And that's what Hal here sometimes forgets, is that she and I are very similar. This whole hammer and nail analogy,
Hal looks deeply offended.
this whole hammer and nail thing, you, my dear, are the best hammer I have ever met in my life.
Wendell restrains himself from any hammering jokes.
Yeah, I was gonna say hammering and pounding jokes.
Yep, his mind goes there and he goes, nope, and he pulls it back in. Like, "Huh."
And what you seem to want to do is turn yourself into a plowshare right when it's time to hammer the hardest. And it seems to me, it seems to me that both of us need to be pointed in the right direction. And if we really are going to trust these two people, the big red one and the talker,
Telepathically said, maybe we should have been listening to what they were saying.
we really are going to hand it all over to them and say, okay, we're a group, we're a coordinated attack force. We're all butlers in the same goddamn house, however you want to put it.
Wendell looks offended at being called a butler, but that's about it.
if I may, Lamont, I've served in Marshall for many years. You could say he's almost like a father to me. And if anybody's got it figured out, he's got it figured out. And Mr. Harlan seems pretty sharp too.
Yeah.
First of all, Lamont, fuck you.
No.
I'm not turning into a plowshare. I'm smart enough not to hit every fucking nail I see.
Okay.
I go for the big ones.
There you
And
go.
I don't do it without a plan.
Like a blueprint for a house. You have to attack the house. You can't just build a house without a plan. It doesn't hold up.
Oh, and there's the house metaphor, and we're all going to be butlers in this house. The question is, what is the point of the house?
Well, the house is
What does
obviously
the house do?
the common
To
good.
take down the neighborhood,
Yeah.
right?
Property values. We're
Yeah.
trying to lower the property values
Take
of
down
the
the
entire
neighborhood.
neighborhood.
Okay.
Fuck it,
So-
let's roll with this. Yeah.
All right, so if we're going with this house
We're gonna be
metaphor,
at a city council meeting.
I think there's a foundation in there somewhere. There's a
Yeah.
metaphor
Alright.
about a foundation
so if
somewhere.
we're going with this metaphor, our house is like, it's really nice. It's a decent house right now, but the Clockwork Council, you know, we get along with our neighbors. The other houses on the street, they're all right. Then this other house moves into the neighborhood, and they're just infringing and encroaching on everyone's property. They're putting their fence lines willy-nilly. They're making it 8 stories tall, and ruining, dropping the
they have-
property values.
They have butlers that think they're all up and tight and smart and
they-
better than us.
And they bitch at other people whose houses aren't the same as their house.
Yes, that's right. And so our goal is to
Sneak into that house and kill those people.
Well, I mean,
Yes.
sure.
When they're
that
Right?
can be done.
Is that what you were about to
however-
say?
No, that's not what I was going to say. There's many
Oh,
ways to
okay.
take
Go
down a
ahead.
house. There's so many different ways to go about it. You could sneak in and assassinate everyone, but if people in that house have people in the police department and all these other they've snuck into all these other little houses, you know, they're slumlording the neighborhood.
What's a slumlord, master?
It's someone who owns a lot
Here
of
we go.
apartments and rents them out to people and charges them way too much and doesn't fix anything ever. Anyways, we can we need to make our house as strong as possible and find out the best way to take down their house, whether it be via... You saw how we took out certain people. Sometimes a piece of paper is all you need to accuse people of crimes to the right people and get help.
Like the
I think, like the Wasserans, we didn't go in and murder all the Wasserans. Thankfully, we found evidence. You have to compile a case. These are things that you need.
Why can't we just burn the house down?
Well,
That's how
because
I'd
then
do
the
it.
neighborhood might burn down, Igor, because all the houses are so close together. This is why everything made out of wood is a poor idea. Anyways,
I miss the country. I miss the country life, master.
yeah,
Not
yes,
enough
Igor,
houses.
I'm well
or
aware.
too much.
Yes, more space between the houses. What we need to do, I think we might need allies. We might need, I think it would be a good idea to find other people who also dislike the Clockwork Council. We can't be the only ones who know about them and disagree with what they're doing.
Master, what about that great big dragon?
Runs a bank, Igor. He's not... He already helped us out a lot with the last one. We can't just count on a big dragon friend for everything.
Or the,
He does have
Although-
investment rights.
Okay.
Zimmy might be willing to help.
We might have a smaller helpful dragon friend, but one dragon friend isn't going to take out an entire row of houses.
No.
So I think we need to find people that might feel the same way as we do.
How many
How
people?
do we do that?
That is the question. I know the Clockwork Council likes to keep an eye on us and other people, possibly.
Master, I was at Butler School. There was a rival Butler School who
Yes.
used to compete against us. Does
Yes.
the Clockwork have a rival Butler School?
That is something I feel we should look into, and if not, we could create one. People don't know about them. You've been telling your temple about them a bit. Didn't they mention something about, what's the really religious place with all the temples you can't throw a
Vasselheim?
pebble. Vasselheim, right.
I would love to go there.
That might be a good trip for us to take. To do some investigating into the evil orb of evil.
Even,
And- Possible allies.
What if we got all these
You said Bahamut
orphanages?
said to make sure it didn't happen, right?
Yeah.
Perhaps if more clerical people became aware, they would be inclined to help.
Master, you have a bunch of orphanages and
Those
people
are orphans,
together.
Igor! I'm not going to throw orphans at a clockwork cat. What? No! They're learning.
I was
They're
just
getting an
making a rival.
education. No,
But,
you can't throw children at a problem like
No.
that, Igor. The children are getting an education and internships and jobs
What-
to set them up.
Well, Master, if
for
we
life.
teach them how evil they are as they grow up, then they'll be ready to
We're
help us.
no, we're not creating orphanages for child soldiers. Fuck no.
Oh, okay.
No.
It was
Just-
a thought.
Just take
I
an
didn't realize that
exasperated
was
sip
where
of
you
tea.
were going with that. I was just trying to help the kids. No, Igor ain't with the child soldiers. I'm
And-
afraid
and-
anybody under 18. It's just really,
Yes.
I've seen it in a lot of movies. Surely it has to work.
not Metal Gear.
No.
I do wish to open a second orphanage in Amon. It's been kind of asked of me at this point, but you did mention Bahamut. We have talked about Vasselheim in the past about
We
this
have.
thing. I know you're considering leaving group, but perhaps before you do, maybe we should take a trip on an airship to get some answers. Maybe that'll help
No.
clarify things for you.
I'm not riding on that time travel airship.
That's fine.
Why won't you? It's perfectly safe.
Fucking with time is unnatural.
You
He
don't
doesn't have
to
to fuck with time to
travel.
fly the airship. You can just fly the ship. He doesn't
Yeah,
have
I
to
don't
time
trust him
travel.
not to fuck with time if he flies the airship.
Harlan, are you gonna fuck with time while Hal's on the airship?
If it becomes necessary.
No, that was the.
So now-
Damn it, Harlan.
I feel like this is when Igor would pop in with basically something to the effect of it meshes with time. No clue.
Just don't worry about it, Igor. It's fine.
I
Also,
want to
as a
know
note-
more about this. Sorry.
That
and
was
we
the
also-
first time Lamont heard anything about Hal leaving.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Oops.
Wendell kind of dropped the bomb there.
And,
I
and he
forgot. There was a
registered
lot
it.
of yelling.
There's a lot of yelling. I think it's good too. I think that Lamont tried to get Hal on the airship, like in the same breath, and then I think I like kind of scooch my chair in, like, when you pick up your chair, we walk it in, like this.
Yeah, the really
Like-
awkward kind of
I-
like
I-
uncomfortable
I like drag my chair across this table.
scratching the marble floors
Just
up.
making that
Oh, no.
sound.
Poor Charles is gonna have to
You
buff
know
it
what?
out.
Nezrin's smart. I bet she's got those little chair socks.
Maybe.
She knows Igor, Lamont, and Harlan
Oh,
and Wendell are
Igor's
visiting.
held on the furniture. Come
Yeah. He knows he's the one to buff out the scratches too. You'd think he'd learn.
Well, you do notice over the last couple of weeks, more and more coverings have been placed on the couches and chairs
Mhm.
that Igor sits on regularly. So
Yes.
There's also a carpet covering on the toilet.
yes, there is.
Mm.
And I just get like right up to the edge of your personal space, like my knees are on your personal space. Your safety, 18 inches or so.
Longsword distance.
Yeah. And I like lean in with my elbows on my knees. I don't even want to go. I want to go too. Okay. You want to go see your family? I get it. You're really lucky. But that world you want to save? Your family's in that world? All these people whose ass I want to kick are in that world? Save the world with me.
Okay, 2 minutes ago, you were raving about being the terror in the night in Amon. So,
I can still be the terror of the night in Port Tamale. I like this idea. I've been to the Tumble Downs or Terror Downs or Tumble Falls or what the fuck ever they call them down there. It's bad. It's really bad.
the tumble downs, yeah.
Tumble, sure. Yeah, I gotta get more familiar, but it's bad. And I have blood on my hands, Hal.
Yeah, we all
I-
do.
I did it. Yeah. And I think I need people in my life. It's like I told you at lunch, and I don't mind saying it out here. There's something going on. This thing, Smokey, the right hand here, and I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily safe to just let me loose. I get excited. I get ambitious.
You get manic, is what you get.
I've heard that word used before.
Look, Lamont, I fucking hate you. But you're my best friend. So I won't help you with your terror shit. I think it causes a lot of problems and it puts a lot of people in unnecessary danger. But if you're willing to help us with this clockwork shit, at least give it a month, not including travel time, because travel time is different. A month of actually working towards it. If we don't get anything done in a month, we'll both leave.
If we use a time shift, we could probably shave down some of that month.
A natural month.
That's cool. That's cool. Natural month. All right. I like a natural month. All right.
Because you're right. If the world is fucking ending, I want to spend it with my family. I don't give a fuck about the world. I really don't. I couldn't care less if it ended. I care about my kids and I care about Nezrin. And if you ever admit to anyone that I said this, I'll fucking kill all of you. I care about you guys too.
How sweet.
Oh, it's okay. I care about you all too.
Thanks.
Sometimes you must kill the ones you love.
What?
I look over at Harlan.
Hal looks at
Oh,
Wendell
no,
first.
That's what I'll do instead, is I'll look at Hal.
I'll look at Wendell first, and then I'll look at Harlan and be like, okay, some dots are connecting.
It's like turned over, be like, he's out of line, but he's not wrong.
Yeah. You're
What are they
not
saying?
wrong, Harlan. You're not wrong. Sometimes you have to kill the ones you love. I understand.
Anyway, reeling it back in. 1 month. If we don't fix it, if we don't make significant progress in a month, I'm out.
Shall we go to Vasselheim?
Yes. However, I don't think Lamont's gonna be able to go there.
Oh, well?
Because he has a strong aversion to anything holy.
I'm sorry, what?
I do what now?
Yeah, so...
Well, is it anything holy or just Bahamut?
Like with holes in it?
Yes, like Swiss cheese.
Yes, yes, try drinking this glass of water. Let's see if it stays all in you. Holy, filled with holes. Try it.
I've tried that. I don't have holes in
You
me.
sure? Have you tried recently?
Yeah, you should probably try it. Because, like, you tried coffee and that worked, so you should try it. See if something has changed.
Okay, I drink the glass of water.
A glass of holy water.
Yes.
Nothing happens.
Okay.
Nothing happens? Okay.
I think you'll be fine. Maybe. Maybe you should walk
Well,
past
'cause-
all the
okay.
temples in town. Make sure
I
it's
don't
not
think
just Bahamut. Because it could be a personal thing, you know, like a personal god vendetta against. I don't know.
Yeah.
We should experiment more.
Got the fun image of you, Travis, being like the drinking problem off airplane with the holy water. Just like you pull it out your mouth and just splash it on yourself instead.
It's just, he just can't get it past his lips, but he drinks it,
Yeah.
no problem. So we're like, okay, he might not be undead. Undead? I don't know. He's definitely. There's questions. I have someone that I wish to speak to concerning you, Lamont, and your condition, if that would be alright with you. They're not a cleric or anything. And I won't mention your name. Just all the symptoms you have, like lack of heartbeat, no breathing, don't need to eat or drink, that kind of thing.
I have a list right here.
Oh, wonderful. They might be able to pinpoint what exactly has happened to you. They're very knowledgeable.
All right. Circle of trust and all that.
Yes, I won't mention your name. Just, I've met someone. I'll go tonight, ask about it.
Okay.
Month to investigate. If you wanted to do something productive while we arrange transit to Port Damali, perhaps we should look into who stole that big shiny disc.
Yeah.
Because
Speaking of which,
that could be related to the, like,
yeah.
I was told it
Yeah.
was a key. I'm just one of the keys to
Right.
Avon.
Unlocking
Yes.
Avon. Speaking of that stuff, Harlan, do we
Yeah.
know that Harlan initially met with her? We don't, right?
No.
The
Harlan,
only thing any of you might remember is that Harlan was sitting alone in the room
Yeah, and we know that she's getting
Um,
lunch with her tomorrow.
because
Yeah.
he was hyperventilating. It was too many people.
Right.
He
Yeah.
was
Right.
freaked out. And then when
Mhm.
you all came in for the music, he was sitting there speaking with the woman who eventually became the singer, who you eventually learned was Kalyana and was
Right.
part of the council. That they had been talking beforehand. But Harlan, you also knew that Harlan looked very surprised when he found that out.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of which, Harlan,
Yes.
why does Kalyana want to have lunch with you?
It's a good question. Maybe it has something to do with this missing disc.
Why would she have a
Yeah.
conversation with you and not the rest of us?
And he does seem to be the most unopposed to her.
Maybe she wants to,
But it could be that... Oh, that could be. Maybe she's very into hobgoblins.
She wants to whistle at him?
No! The flirt, Igor. That's what that means.
Okay.
Yes.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I should excuse myself. I need to get ready.
But your lunch is tomorrow, so... Unless you do think she's interested in that kind of way.
would you lay with her, Harlan? If it meant getting the answer to this, to where the plate is? Are you prepared?
Possible that they're not the ones who stole the disc, but I wouldn't put it past them.
It's such an awkward question.
I'm just messing with you, pal. I don't know. You can do whatever you want to do. I say we just tie her to a chair, and but apparently we can't because she's on the Clockwork Council. So the whole tie her to the chair thing. I tell you what, I'm gonna stop saying we should tie people to a chair. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of cross that off my mental list.
Good.
I just think that So go to lunch, have a wonderful time, drink deep the dregs of the cup of life, and then extort her for information when you see not extort. Explore her for information, during the lunch. Look all over, top to bottom.
But don't be a creep about it like Lamont's being.
Yeah, don't be a fucking creep about it.
Don't
Harlan.
take flirting advice from Lamont. I've never seen him with
Play
a
it
woman.
cool.
Or man. Except for you.
Or anyone.
Yes.
Igor's
I
sitting
will
there writing all this stuff down like.
I will never love again, but that's not the point that's not the conversation we're having right now. The point is that Harlan has a
that's
golden
not the point.
opportunity to increase his social circle and have a nice lunch. So, hey, listen, this whole disc thing.
You like to skulk about? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Mhm.
so circle is so I'm trying to let you know my thought process. Circle of trust.
Yes.
We got this thing missing. I can kind of a second story man skill set. What do we know if I went back to the scene of the crime?
It would
What
be.
am I looking for?
You would not find anything most likely. It's been a day or two.
Yeah.
A day.
It was housed in an auction warehouse.
Mm-hmm. But, well, it was the auction warehouse. It sure wasn't his house.
Yeah. It was stolen
it
from the
might
auction
still
warehouse.
be locked off as a crime scene then. Well, it's not an awful idea.
It wasn't an auction warehouse.
The
It was
auction.
the grand auction house.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
which
was really
is-
strange because they hadn't had
Anything
burglaries
stolen.
before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have very good security. They are trusted. They deal with very magical things, very expensive things. Lots of money changes hands, and no one ever has a problem. So you imagine that there are some very upset people, possibly the Myriad as well, because you're sure they get a cut of it too. And this
Mhm.
big item is missing now, so someone circumvented them.
Yep.
So there's a lot of angry people in town right now.
We jump in the time machine. Well, okay, Harlan has lunch. Jump in the time machine. Go back a couple of days. We're there when it happens. Is that how that works, Harlan? Is that an option? Jump in the. I'm just blue
You
sky
guys
in
have
here.
fun with that. I'm not fucking with time shit.
All right, well,
I figured it'll take myself and Howell a day or two to arrange travel to
Alright.
Vasselheim. Maybe that's something you could look into. I'll ask my friend about your condition. Maybe he'll know something. Maybe you should try walking into every temple in town as well, see if it's just a Bahamut thing or if all holy places repel you.
I think I have a piece of paper. I think I have a pen. I do. I have a pencil right here. Harlan, can I have a page out of that notebook you got right there? Can you just hand me one? Can you just tear a page out of that there for me? I'd like to make some notes.
I have
here, if you don't mind.
a regular piece of paper. I was going to write a couple of letters.
Oh, thank you so much.
Here, it's very
Okay. All
it's
right.
a nice
So here we go.
document.
No tying people to chairs and no using the time machine. Okay. All right. Keep going. I'm listening. All right. I'm just taking notes.
Maybe
keep
just
going.
try walking, seeing if you can walk into any temples.
I'm just saying, if I snuck into the big auction house
Yes.
and poked around,
Mm-hmm.
it seems to me that the real problem is they've got somebody on the inside who snuck the disc out.
Well, we don't know exactly what happened. We've only read about it in the newspaper.
Maybe
could've
talk
been-
with the Salazzo.
There's a lot of yes. There could have been altercations involved. There could be lots of crime scene tape and little markers where all the blood splatters are. I don't know. Would have been so there may not have been anyone to even see what happened. They just turned around and it was gone. There's so many ways to steal things. We've done this before. We don't know how it was stolen. We know when it was stolen, approximately, but we've not looked into it. I just figured it might be something you could do while you're walking around town, seeing if you can go into any temples before we go to Temple Town.
You want me to go into a temple? Why?
To see if you can. Because the place we're going to, Vasselheim, there's a temple every other
very
building.
holy.
Yeah, it's very holy. We want to make sure you don't
I
get
like
repelled
temples.
out of the city into the ocean or something.
I like temples. Frank, Frank, do I know that I don't like temples? I really don't.
You've only tried to walk into one,
Uh-huh.
and your body wouldn't let you.
Which
Oh,
is
right,
why
my
we want
body
you to
wouldn't
try
let
to
me.
walk into other ones to see if it's a consistent thing or if it was just a one-time thing or a one-day
It's
anything.
just Bahamut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I've invented kind of an asshole tourist character, and I'll go wander around town and try to get into some temples here in a few minutes.
I
after
think
we-
that would be best to know ahead of time, and
Oh,
I'll go speak with
good.
my friend. I'm going to pen a letter, then speak to my friend.
Okay. So, what if I'd like to bring up the subject of how we are paid for our accomplishment? back
Yes,
there?
is there anything anyone wants in particular from the Clockwork Council?
Personnel.
No.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Could we
Yes,
talk about
they're
people?
loyal to the Clockwork Council, right?
Yes.
Yes.
They'll
but if we
report
had-
everything.
Report everything.
Yes.
Could we wipe their minds somehow? How could
We
we
don't
dominate the
have
minds
that.
of
Harlan,
men?
do you have that power? I don't have that power. I know
Harlan,
it
dominate the minds of men? Is
exists.
that an option?
Well, I've heard of ways that possible, but getting access to those are probably more expensive than
It's worth.
what it we
All
were.
right. So the cabal of silent assassins, I guess, is out. All right, fine.
Yeah, we
Um,
don't want their assassins. That
All right, we
sounds
don't
like a
want their
terrible idea.
Yeah.
They'll probably also deny having assassins. That sounds like a them thing to do.
You don't just straight up ask for assassins, but I
Oh,
mean, it's a fair point.
you know what
That's
it could be if there's something that you want. It could be information on something, whether it be the myriad or something. They have fingers in a lot of pies in a lot of countries. We'll think about it.
Okay, and with that, let's. It looks like everyone's going in different directions. So I see that Lamont Quinlan wants to go temple hopping
Mm-hmm.
and possibly do a raid on the auction house
Yeah.
to see if he can find information out, which obviously is going to go perfectly
Super
because
well, yeah.
we've described it as a very secure location. Um, let's see. Wendell, you're writing a letter and then talking to the crazy old man in the
Anselm,
bookstore.
Yes. Yeah, I'm writing my acceptance letter to the position of coin master.
All right. And then is Harlan, Hal, or Igor planning on doing anything?
Hal will just accompany Wendell if he goes anywhere, if he doesn't mind.
Yeah, if you want to talk with Anselm with me, you can. Go to the bookstore.
Sure. I know how to read.
Eagle would ask Master if he needs him to do anything. If not, I mean, he'll do his own thing, or he can come along.
You can have. Why don't you take the rest of the day off, Igor? You've heard a lot of yelling today. Yes.
I'll get a day off.
You get an afternoon off. Yes. I'll be back for dinner.
An afternoon. I'll be back within 30 minutes. Yeah.
No.
Get a 30-minute break.
I'll check in around dinner. How about that?
Okay, Igor is gonna go do things that he always wants to do with his character flaw of excess. He's gonna go like shopping to excess. He's gonna go, I don't know, he's gonna have a spa day to excess. How about Igor have a nice little spa day? He hasn't had a spa day.
Okay. I imagine you asked Nezrin if there's a good spa nearby, and she sent you to one of the best ones under her recommendation.
Perfect. Igor's going to pay for everything that the place offers. We're talking like manicure, pedicure,
every
massage,
service you have.
Every service they have to excess until somebody tells him to stop, get out. You know, our people can't do anymore. You're done.
You've already had everything. Yeah.
Yeah, you've already had everything.
All right. So Igor's gone for a while.
Yes.
Perfect.
And Harlan, how about you?
Yes, Harlan's going to go by the bathhouse, get some laundry done.
Okay.
And then probably
freshen up the toupee.
Yes. Right. And then look for a gift befitting the station of Callion.
Okay. That's very easily done. Decide what you want it to be, and it's yours. You can find it in this town, and you have more than enough money.
Yes.
Okay. So let's actually let's accompany Wealth and Howl to the north to their favorite bookstore. How do you travel?
Oh, do you want carriage, Hal? Or do you want to walk? Walk or carriage?
This is your show, so
well, we're going to probably be there for a little while, so maybe walk.
Walk, yeah.
We can walk. Exercise is good for me. No, we'll walk there.
Okay, so you walk. It's about a good hour to 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know, you're taking it easy. You're not jogging over there.
I bring snacks though in my snack bag of holding.
There was still a half a mound of food from when Igor brought some.
Just goes into
all
the
kinds
bag.
of tasty pastries and things.
Yep.
I feel like we should establish that's the norm. If there's leftovers, Wendell's putting it in the
yes.
bag.
I thought that was already established.
Okay,
I
I
just wanted to say, and maybe pick up some street food, like before we get in. You know, just like some skewers or something.
How will pick out like the best vendors that she knows because she's been living in the city for over a year now. So.
Yeah,
okay.
Just go on a food tour on the way to the bookstore.
It's actually a pleasant afternoon. Outside of the ugliness that was parts of your conversation today and the surprises that you've heard from certain people, Harlan included today, you finally make it outside the low building of the Page Age.
Mm-hmm.
Dark, kind of dirty old building.
A question.
Yes.
Didn't I buy like a magical book for Nezrin from here?
Yes, you bought a magical. You got a book on business practices from the Age of Arcanum.
Okay.
So it not actually a magical book, just an antique book.
Well, no. It was
magic.
It was a spell book.
That's right.
And it had incantations, rituals, and ceremonies for, aggressive, hostile takeovers of certain business and mercantile. Plus, it also was a treatise on different types of financial approaches to running businesses. It was a pretty comprehensive tome, but very old and relatively expensive. So you walk in and the little doorbell rings and you see, the light from the door reflects off the motes of dust that are floating through the air. You get that old parchment smell in your nose as you walk in.
Hal immediately sneezes.
Bless you.
Perfectly quiet,
Thanks.
other than the echoing sneeze through the very long, low building.
Hello, Anselm. I look in case there's any piles of books that may have buried him alive again.
You
It's only been a couple of
see
days.
a small pinprick of light from very far in the back, and it's getting
Ah.
larger.
Yes, I'll walk
like-
towards it so he doesn't have to walk as far. He's got little legs.
And you see the creepy old gnome, little man coming in, holding a blue lit lantern.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello! Oh, you're back.
am.
Are we talking about? Was I supposed to get you a book?
No, you sold us books last time. I actually had
Oh,
a few for
good.
you for your all your
Okay.
help.
I forget sometimes. It's
It happens.
difficult, and I don't like getting rid of my books that often. So
I know.
it's hard to let them go.
I understand. And I'll pull out some of the books I took from the cultish hideout. The ones that I thought he might be interested in.
Ooh. Oh, I
These
haven't
are for
seen
you.
these. Oh, that's a first edition. Oh, you see him like grab the books from you and you're jogging over to a table so you can lay
Mhm.
them all out. He's
Mhm.
looking over them, and he's turning through the pages, and you just hear him clucking to himself, kind of, ooh, this is a good. Oh, are you looking to sell?
Yes, I was also wondering if I could ask you some questions. You are a very well-learned man. You've read
Oh,
many
yes.
obscure tomes. We
I'm the
haven't-
best at what I do.
Yes, I was wondering if you've ever encountered in any of your readings, a type of individual, displaying these, symptoms. And I'll hand over the page of symptoms and observations that Harlan has made about Lamont.
Undead? I mean, that seems obvious.
Yes, but it's a specific kind. One
Oh,
that's
a
not
spec-
averse to holy water.
Oh,
Can drink a whole glass of it.
but isn't?
Yes.
Well,
And when the corpse was found, I'll explain, like, this corpse was found, and that, like, when they tried to speak with dead, the spirit was opaque and dark and hazy instead of. I'll explain, like, all the things we know about him and the symptoms without saying it's our friend Lamont, but give everything else, basically, all the info. we have.
You see him like play with his scraggly beard. I'll give me a second. That reminds me of. It reminds me of something. Okay. And you see him just sprint off into the darkness. He left his lantern behind.
Yeah.
You hear books falling over. You hear him kind of squeak as like a tower of books falls. And then after a little while, he comes over with the tome and he throws it up on the
Well, he's gonna
table
look over
and
at Hal. I'm like, here's to hoping.
climbs up a stool and starts flipping through. He's like, right here. Oh, maybe not. Oh, no. He could be. Now,
Could be,
though,
yes.
I am not a doctor of necromantic arts, so I
No,
cannot
of course
say
not.
for sure what sort of undead minion or thing he might be. But I can suggest what it might be, and if you talk to a doctor of necromantic arts, he'll be able to confirm it for you. So
Yes,
just
would love a
keep that in mind.
recommendation. Yes.
Yes. He's a reborn.
A reborn.
Yes.
I'll like look into
Uh,
the section of the book where he's pointing, like, like
It's a language you don't understand.
I
right off
can
the bat.
read all writing.
It takes you a second,
Okay.
and then the letters start it's weird when you see this because the letters and the ink starts to like
Mhm.
swim until
Yeah.
it creates the letters that you need to read.
Yeah, it takes
And then
him-
it's like-
there's a lot of blinking.
Yes. And it's almost like the ink and like it become like little worms that bore through the parchment to come back to what they are. And it basically says that, the reborn are individuals who have died, but somehow still live. Some have scars that are easy to tell how they're in. Some are bloodless, some are inhabited by other things, some are stitched together, but for whatever reason, this individual has found a way back.
Interesting. Fascinating.
And then you see, as you flip through more pages, and Hal starts getting bored, and Anselm is like staring, like, oh, look here, pointing out.
Yes.
He starts talking about how there's different ways that these can be classified, but that ones that exhibit the energy signatures that you've seen with Lamont, the arm, the eye glow, seems like he is sharing his existence now with another being of some sort.
So, not unlike possession, but different from demonic possession. Interesting.
Right. There is more of a shared.
Like a symbiote.
Yeah. They are cohabitating in a single form.
Interesting. Very, very interesting.
It also says that these individuals that exhibit these particular types of indicators of the reborn can sometimes be at war with the being that's inside them. Most of the time they inhabit a body that has a reason to do what they want them to do.
Interesting. Okay.
But if that person ever starts varying from the path that brought the being to them, there can be a battle for possession of the overall host.
He'll be speaking these things out loud so Hal doesn't feel completely left out, and maybe can
Have you met one of these? Oh, they're so rare.
I believe I might have encountered one of these. Yes.
Oh, is he still alive? Can I have samples?
I'll see what I can do.
Oh. Okay.
What kind of samples?
So, like, do we need to worry
Hair,
about this
blood,
person?
skin, body parts.
Right.
I figure it got animated once, it get animated again.
It's possible.
Oh, I'm sorry, you were saying?
Do we need to be, like, worried about this person?
Well, I mean, probably more worried for them now than before they died. But, I mean, if you weren't worried for them then I probably wouldn't waste the energy on it.
Look at Hal. Right. Wonderful. I believe maybe I'll write a letter to Nikolai Yates back in Amon as well.
You know Yates?
Nikolai
He's written
Yates.
some amazing treatises on different types of artificery. I have several in the back. They're just
Really?
jumbles of notes and things, but
Yes, he's
come through occasionally.
He's a friend of ours. He actually
He's not younger than he used to be.
Is he? I haven't seen him in several months, but good to know. He was working on that when I last spoke with him.
Yes, he looks great. He won't share his secret though.
Well, maybe he'll come around.
I'm not getting any younger.
I'm
I'm
Don't
475. You don't make him like me anymore.
a tenth of your age practically, and I understand being
Oh, you're
human.
a child. Why am I even speaking to you?
Oh,
It's
well,
like blah,
you know.
blah, blah. Pay attention to me. I mean, that's what I hear all the time. No, I actually like you, so I'm just
I
kidding.
like you as well. I understand it's a bit different since you're older, but my joints, humans, right?
Wait till you're 400. I mean,
Ugh.
come on.
If I make it that long. Like laughs like ha ha. These two book nerds.
Yeah. How are you handling this?
Just what I'm doing now, just arms crossed, eyes back and forth. What the fuck is going on?
Yes.
Just waiting.
I also had a few other questions for you. Did we mention
Oh,
the name
sure.
Anahita the last time we were here?
I'm still looking for that.
Right.
There's been occasional references, but most of the time you see the name and then there's nothing else. And there's been
Interesting.
several times where I've seen the name and then I've gone to go get my notes and I've come back and it's not in the book anymore.
That is
It's really strange.
interesting.
I don't have that happen often, and I have
No.
I have a mind for books.
I know you do. That's quite
Entire
interesting.
pages will just be a different writing altogether.
It's strange.
It
Very
is.
strange indeed.
Must be a powerful bibliomancer somewhere.
Must be. That must be the
what?
case.
Oh, a bibliomancer. It's a wizard that specializes in books and things, magic dealing with books. Bibliomancer,
So
like a
librarian.
necromancer, undead,
A
necro.
bibliomancer. Like a bookomancy.
It's a libromancy. Does that sound better for you?
I
I like
bibliomancy.
bibliomancy.
Yeah. Like a bibliomancer who does libromancy. I could see it either way. It works.
Wizards are so fucking weird.
Yeah, you know, I don't like putting all the work in. I prefer the short and easy way.
I understand. Nikolai Yates is actually a fellow member of that that club I shared with you that pamphlet for.
Oh, I was looking over that. I have some questions of my own. I've actually written
Certainly.
out a 95-page
Would love to read it.
Yes, there are certain questions.
Hal goes outside. As he says 95 page. No, fuck that. I'm going outside. And
Yes.
she's going to sit on that bench that she was outside where she first noticed that they were being watched.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
And-
she wants to scan.
And as soon as I hear the ding of the bell again, I'll be like, I'd love to read it, but I also thought I should let you know
Oh,
telepathically. I've read it. The book.
you found it. Keep it secret.
It's secret.
Keep it safe.
It's in the most secretive, safe place I could think of. But
Where?
I can't tell you that.
Oh, I was testing you. I was
You
just
were,
testing you.
you
I wanted
were,
to see
but-
what you do.
You
Because
just
if you
seem
told
so
me, then
intrigued.
you know it's
Then
not
I
safe
would
anymore.
be
Because I'll
safe
tell
anymore.
anyone. I'm a blabbermouth.
Yes, I mean, it was really quite a thing. But I just, we discussed it. Thought I should let you know. But I would love to read the 95-page thing that you wrote.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I thought you'd be coming by, so I left it here.
Yes.
Now I've bound it in a leather journal cover.
Right.
So if you have any questions about it, I've left some pages back there for
Oh,
responses.
Wonderful. Yes, I'll probably go over it tonight.
Oh, wonderful!
Return it to you in the morning.
I knew I liked you. And he hands you this. I mean, he's taken covers off of really old books that the parchment is just disintegrated
Yeah.
and has just bound it himself and
Mhm.
hands you a little tome.
I think we're going to be great friends, Anselm.
I certainly hope so. I need a friend.
I as well. Despite what some might think, I have very few that I would actually consider friends.
Wow, it happens. Great minds
does.
run the little people away.
It's so true. So true. Well, I will leave you to, new readings, and I'll gesture to the books that I brought with me.
Okay.
And,
And
I'll meet Hal outside.
you go to meet Hal outside,
And I'll
and
tell him
before
not
we,
to buy them, that they're gifts between friends.
Mhm.
You know?
Before we end the session tonight, I want to go back to Lamont.
Mm-hmm.
Lamont, you're walking down the street. Now, are you heading towards the auction house or are you heading towards the temple district? The Crescents.
I goes outside,
Mhm.
and as he goes through the foyer or whatever of the house, he transforms into this sort of. I think he wants like normal street clothes. We're
Okay.
not going to do the ostentatious. Everybody look at me, I'm an asshole. Hulhauser outfit. We're just goes into normal clothes.
Simple things that you've seen on the streets of Port Damali before.
Yes,
Okay.
particularly in this area.
Mhm.
And steps out, and I think he looks in the direction of the temples,
Mhm.
and then turns and starts walking toward the auction house.
Okay. And that's pretty
Now-
easy because it's basically just a Y intersection. You either go up to the Crescents or straight ahead to the auction house.
He's like, somewhere in his mind, he's like, fuck that. And as he's walking, his brain immediately starts thinking, well, we're going to do both. this is just what's happening. We're going to participate in this. Give them a month. Surrender a certain amount of decision making and trust, and you've got this whole group thing going on. And then in the meantime, I haven't slept in a year. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to tell everybody good night. And then I'm going out. And we're going to take back the tumble downs. And he's thinking about all of this as he walks down the street towards the auction house.
Okay, so you're distracted.
Very distracted.
Perfect. You find yourself heading down one of the side roads from where Wasser Manor is, towards the direction of the auction house. The easiest way there is along one of the side streets that cuts off from the main path to the crescents and leads directly to the grand auction house. Instead of going down and around, which would have taken longer and been out of the way. And since you hadn't really decided where you were going quite yet, it was kind of easier just to walk in that general direction. And you notice that the people around you are walking with you now. There's like 6 of them. There's not really anyone else that's paying attention. The road seems clear for the most part. And they're kind of spread out. There's 2 in front, there's 2 kind of to the side, and kind of glance over your shoulder, there's 2 behind. And then they're not really doing anything. They're just walking along. No one's saying anything. And then they stop. And a man steps out of the alleyway. And it's like, I hear you have a problem, Mr. Quinlan, with my organization. And you see on his chest, he pulls back his shirt a bit, and you see the symbol of the myriad blazoned in a tattoo across his chest. And you hear that metallic rasp of weapons being drawn around you. And that's where we're ended.
Ooh.
It's nice knowing you, monster.
So that was fun. That was a lot of fun. We had some drama at the beginning of the episode. So I want to start with my I was going to start with my drama friend there, but he's on the phone. So we're going to start with his drama partner, Hal. How was that for you tonight?
Listen, I'm not an aggressive person, and I love anytime I get to fight with Travis or literally anybody. Frank, I fight with you a lot too. And don't know why. I like being aggressive when I can be afterwards, I can be oh my God, I'm so sorry. Please don't be offended, when I can apologize profusely. That was a blast. I'm Nugatosaurus. I play Hal, the Shifter Fighter / Paladin, here on Mondays. Tomorrow night, you can find me back here playing Ambar Vanastra, the Divine Soul Sorceress. We just acquired a ton of NPCs, and we are making our way through Aslan's castle, and interesting things are going to happen. I need to find my Displacer Kitty, so my not child will not be sad when we get back to him. You can also find me here on the occasional Saturday, playing in our Aliens campaign as a synthetic human named Violet, who is learning stuff about her past because she has no memories. Kind of like Hal. I realize that's kind of like a theme with a lot of characters that I play. My favorite part was Igor and his fucking Butler House reference. It was so left field, but so on brand. It was perfect, and I love that we all just kind of ran with it. I'm here for it. Anytime Igor does anything, I always fucking laugh my ass off, and I've missed you guys. I know we played last week, but I love this game, and Hal makes me sad sometimes, but it'll be okay. So it'll be okay.
It'll be okay. Yep. And yeah, the housing. I was Wendell described fantasy HOAs at one point. So that went exactly the direction I wanted to go. But our other disaster drama artist, Lamont Quinlan, how was that for you tonight?
It was so good. You have nothing to apologize for, because there's sort of a, it's not even you know, we've given consent, and this this incredible spark between these two particular characters. I was driving around today thinking a couple of things. First off, how much the character I play on Tuesday nights would hate the character I play on Monday nights. Elam would hate Lamont and would not suffer him. And also, this game, you know, to the audience out there, this is a powder keg game. In Ravenloft, we're all kind of flowing in the same direction. This one, everyone's very much like pointed at each other, and I just don't see. I loved our showdown with Hal, and I loved Harlan's. I love how Harlan is very flippant with huge things and major and giant forces of time and space and nature, and it's exactly as he should be. There's this sort of inner peace. And Igor with the mansion, the butler bit was amazing. And I want a one shot of Igor in Butler School. I'm ready for a flashback one shot of Igor's time in Butler School. I want to know more. And Wendell making sense to Lamont, and Lamont being like, "All right, there you go," and it's a wonderful way to play a character who very much has this real serious manic problem, like as someone with, you know, what they in the DSM-4 began to call bipolar 2. It's fun to explore, very cathartic and meaningful to get to explore somebody who really does have so little control over themselves sometimes and is their own worst enemy all the time. And that's a great opportunity, and I really appreciate it, Lindy and Frank. I can't wait for next week.
Awesome. That was great. Our other person this evening who seems to have made a lot of people smile with their anecdotes is Igor, as we just heard. Igor, how was that for you this evening?
It was fun. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that crazy randomness I pull out for Igor sometimes. Anyways, I'll get the intro stuff. I'm Shiny Pilot 26, Twitch, Twitter here on Mondays, Tuesdays, and when we do Aliens. And I'm glad you guys like it. I mean, just trying to roll with what an Igor Butler would do. And my favorite part was actually the yelling and the arguing as well. And there was two parts where Lamont and Harlan at two separate times had some like one-liners at the end of a conversation that killed me. I can't remember what those were for the life of me. I'd have to go back and watch it again, but I meant to bring them up. I was like, I'm going to type these down and mention them, but they were great. They were just those parts that kicked in, and I liked our whole arguing like a family, then taking it apart. That was all great. That was a lot of fun. So anyways, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for having me play.
That I think because one of my favorite parts was when Harlan just kind of ends the conversation with, "Yes, sometimes you have to kill the ones you love."
Yeah, that was
that was
that
one of them. Yeah,
deadpan
that was
delivery right across. It was just beautiful. I think the other one might have been when Harlan was like, "I think we maybe should have paid attention to this conversation."
Yeah,
when he popped out of the bubble. I like both of those. But why don't we speak to the man himself who had those comments, Harlan Flipcloak? How was it to be the man with the big power versus the "you are here" little dot in the middle of
that
it?
Was also yes.
That was such a good analogy.
I don't know. Anyways, yes, I'm D20 Coup de Grace. Shoot, man, this whole thing, this whole episode, it was pretty good. Definitely like the fighting. I liked when Harlan got away from and Lamont followed him, and just the whole awkwardness there. I liked getting away with Wendell right at the table. I thought that was funny, and I don't know. I just enjoy so many aspects about this game, and I'm happy to play it. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I'm happy that you're happy to play it, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm going to go ahead and count myself out here. I'm Deception Check, the DM. You catch me here on Mondays doing this with these fine people, and Tuesdays again coming back, but playing different characters. On Tuesday as a player, and then on Saturday we have Aliens when it's around. We've got one coming up in August, I believe. That's great. And also a new project that we might be announcing really soon. We're gonna have to see what's going on. That'll be a lot of fun. Matter of fact, we're doing some work on it this weekend, so it's gonna be a lot of fun there. my favorite parts tonight were just the HO, like the fantasy HOA, and the whole building the house and filling with butlers and doing all that was great. I really liked Harlan in the silence bubble inside the conversation. That was just perfect. And sometimes you have to kill the ones you love, because that just comes right back to what we're doing on Tuesday night with poor Bali.
Yes, yep. I'm like, as Bali
I
has
can't
learned.
wait till that happens. That's going to be, I planted that seed so horribly. That's going to be great. We'll see what happens there. And honestly, everyone was on point tonight. It was a lot of fun and I had a blast. Thank you, everyone. And I will pass it over to Wendell Eustace Abernathy Lucius Throckwaddle Hassenpfeffer the Fourth of the Havisham Hassenpfeffers. Laugh Lindy.
Thank you. That's me, soon to be Coin Master Wendell Eustace Abernathy Lucius Throckwaddle Hassenpfeffer the Fourth of the Havisham Hassenpfeffers. Anyways, because he needed more titles to throw at himself. It's gonna be great. There was a lot of really good stuff that happened. I want to say my overall favorite thing was Harlan, though. Just, this is what you know. This is what I know. I love Harlan so much. Because in a different universe, he could be Wendell. Like, just the way their brains kind of work about certain things. It's just, if they had switched lives, I wonder, like, how it would have turned out for the both of them. It just, these are the things I think about at 3 a.m. sometimes. But, sometimes you have to kill the ones you love, and I was like, whew, and I immediately also thought to Tuesday. And I also loved, I love it whenever Wendell and Hal have a little gossip moment. They just, and then when Harlan drops that, and they both just kind of look at each other, Harlan with Wendell with like a, you see what I'm talking about? And Hal like, oh my gosh, are you right? Like, it was just so good. And poor Hal coming to the bookstore with Wendell. But we learned some things, maybe. I also loved Igor with like a glass of milk for the road. Like, just the little things, and that just explains so much of why so many of their dishware is missing back home, and why they can't. This is why we can't have nice things. And I just, and Lamont being crazy, but actually like listening to people and like refusing one thing and then saying verbatim practically exactly what was said to him about a situation not 5 minutes later. Just like, oh, Lamont. Bless his heart. I just love it all. It's just so good. You can find us here, Laugh Love Lindy, every Monday and Tuesday for, people not being available excluded, for Wanderlust and Wildemount and Mist of Ravenloft. Aslan's Castle tomorrow. It's gonna be a great party. Skeever, the imp familiar of Aslan's, leading them on an epic tour. More people for the tour. It's great. He loves that you have freed all of the NPCs from the lower dungeon. It's gonna be a great time. Nothing could go wrong. You gotta find Poof, Lich is phylactery, and get out and head to a shrine. It's gonna be fine. I wouldn't worry about it. And of course, yes, hopefully, we will hopefully announce a date very soon for Aliens next month. And yeah, just stay tuned for other things, because they're cool, and, just stuff's neat. Thank you guys so much for playing, and for everyone watching. We appreciate you, and I like seeing your comments in chat. They crack me up. Yeah, stay cool. We will see you next time. Have fun, play games.